Hey guys, I decided to do a video on dumpster diving and curbing and trash picking. Basically, I've been doing this for a long time, and I'll give you a little backstory. When I was 5 years old, my father died. I still remember him, but he died when I was 5, and my mom was a single mother raising me and my brother, and we didn't have a lot of money, and so my mom got involved with this almost like a faith-based organization. It was this guy from a church, and what he would do is he'd go to the Publix is a grocery store chain we have, and he would ask if there's any food they have or if they're going to throw away or they would throw away if he could have it, and he'll distribute it around to homeless people and poor people and old people. And so basically mom started doing that. We'd have to get up at like 5:30 every morning, and we'd go behind the Publix, and they'd wheel out these big barrel trash cans full of food, essentially. And a lot of times, there'd be some rotten food in there too, but most of the time it was like corn or vegetables that were about to go or whatever. A lot of times it was bread and cakes. And so basically, we survived on that. We would take it to a church, and they would put out tables, and then the homeless people and the old people would come, and they would get through it. And I wish that they actually stopped doing that for liability reasons, because apparently they had to destroy all the food that's old or whatever. I don't know. But it wasn't like it was rotten food. But anyway, that's how we survived. And it was free, and it was awesome. And we did it for at least 5 years, maybe 8 years. And so we did that, and that was like trash picking food, basically. And so let's see what else. And then basically we were pretty poor. There were some points when we didn't have electricity. That not for like, I'm talking like a week. I'm talking maybe a week tops. There's some points when we didn't have running water. I'm not saying for a really long time, but what we would do is we used to put 5-gallon buckets underneath downspouts and collect rainwater and flush our toilets with it. And we drunk jug water anyway. We didn't drink out of the tap. We lived near the city of Atlanta, and it was a suburb of Atlanta. It was kind of a, you don't want to drink the water situation. Anyway, but I got off subject. But anyway, I grew up very poor, and there was an escape, and that was trash picking. And so we had this little Nissan G20. I think I did a cold start video of it before we sold it. And this little Nissan G20, and it got great gas mileage. We heated our house with firewood, and we hauled firewood in the Nissan G20. We would go around on the limb day in all these ritzy neighborhoods around Atlanta, and they would actually log out the firewood for you. And it could have been pine. Sometimes it was pine. We'd burn it. We didn't care. Anything, really. And we'd burn it in the fireplace. And then we couldn't really afford a computer. And so we had an old computer. It was like a Windows 95. It was a Toshiba. It was really nice at the time, and we used it. This is like 2000, and we were using it to connect to the internet via AOL, but it got struck by lightning, and so we needed a new computer. So we started trash picking, looking for computers, and I would get the amount of computers I was getting on a weekly basis was probably 2-3, and it was really good. And we got these really old ones that someone had formatted with Windows 95. They're originally probably Windows 3.1. But we use those to surf the web, which is amazing to think nowadays. But they actually ran pretty good. But they couldn't handle images. Yeah, it was only for text-based things, basically. But we had a bunch of computers we trash picked. Most of the furniture we trash picked in our house. A lot of furniture in the house I live in now is trash picked. And basically, being that poor and everything like that, it was an escape for me. And I was saying about this the other day. My mom would have to get to work by 8, and I'd come to her like at, I don't know, 12, 1 o'clock. I'm like, hey, let's go trash pick. And she's like, yeah. And so then we'd spend the next 3 hours driving around real late at night on, I think it was Thursdays nights in Atlanta. The next day they would pick it up. And we'd drive around and gather things. And I was thinking about this recently. Mom didn't get a lot of sleep back then because we were, trash picking and stuff like that. And so I've been trash picking ever since then, basically. It's a way of life. The problem is you got to be now. You can't. It's hard not to be a hoarder at the same time. I definitely have a little bit of hoarding tendencies. I remember like I'd get computers, and then I would disassemble them, and have a box for hard drives, have a box for was it floppy drives, a box for RAM, and a box for screws, jar for screws. I did that for, I don't know why I did that, but I just disassemble them and hoard parts. But anyway, that's basically what got me into trash picking, curbing, and dumpster diving. And now I do a little bit more dumpster diving than trash picking because I live in a more rural area, and it's more of a farmland area. And there are some neighborhoods that have bulk pickup like 4 times a year, which I just got some things from them. Let's see, last Saturday night, and so I'll show you a couple of those things. I'm gonna post a video of that soon. But anyway, I see no problem with trash picking, dumpster diving, or curbing. There's a lot of people. My aunt, I remember her telling me once. I was telling her like, "Oh, we found this in the trash or whatever," and she said to me, she looked at me with this look, and she said, "God didn't mean for His children to dig through the trash." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So, some people have different thoughts about trash picking. That hoarders do it or whatever, and you can have hoarding tendencies. I definitely do, but I can control that. And so, this is my story. And one thing I want you guys to keep an eye out for when you're trash picking is electric coolers like this one. Actually, if you look at this, you think, "Oh, what's that?" It's a fan blade with a broken. It's a motor with a broken fan blade. Anyway, behind this is a heat sink, and behind that is a Peltier unit. And let me tell you what a Peltier unit is. Okay, a Peltier unit basically is a chemical substrate, and when you apply low voltage 12 volt DC to it, it makes one side gets really cold and one side gets really hot. I'm talking like 30 to 25 degrees, and the other side's like 150. And I think it's real neat. And the other use of them, they're mostly used in electric coolers and also little car coolers you plug into your cigarette lighter. But they're also when you apply heat to one side of the Peltier unit and a heat sinks on the other side, or you just let it cold air on the other side, they make small amounts of electricity, which is amazing. Think about that. You could line your roof with them if you had a lot of money, and you could power a light bulb maybe. I don't know. You daisy chain them together. They're about the size of a dollar bill folded in half. They're behind the heat sink. They're called Peltier units. Just thought I'd tell you guys that. I trash picked that electric cooler the other night. I have a cooler fetish. I trash pick a lot of coolers, and then I soak them in we call it bleach. Try and clean them out in case there's a body in there. In fact, here's a cooler I trash picked right here. Oh yeah, that's actually a really nice big cooler right there. It's clean inside, and it has a spigot hookup. See? You can hook a water spigot to the drain, which I think is awesome. Anyway, that's the end of the video.